Dump broke his country, optimistic song, cycle 1. Militarily Dump conceded the Iran war. Ethically we threaten other countries with loss of civilian water and food. Ethically we threaten the world with nuclear radiation. After bombing, financially Dump conceded gas prices and fertilizer prices will continue to go up. Truthfully, we all now see that Dump projects his own failures and bad intentions onto others. His imagination only goes so far as his inward greed and malice projected onto others. Song cycle 2 tells us what the US could evolve into if we do not stop the breakage. Song cycle 3 tells us that Putin and Orban plan to fake an assassination, attempt in order to raise Orban popularity for some reason that was not pulled off. Let us not continue on this course of fakery and collusion with present Russia and Hungary. Putin broke his country, optimistic song, cycle 2. Militarily Putin is losing the Ukraine war. It is a war of attrition which cannot continue. Estimates suggest that approximately 325,000 Russian soldiers have been killed in Ukraine, with verified counts exceeding 150,000. Verified deaths according to a joint tally by BBC. Russian and media zone at least 152, 142. Russian military deaths have been confirmed through open source verification, such as obituaries and court records. This count includes only Russian citizens and excludes fighters from the Donetsk and Luhansk regions. The highest confirmed fatalities were reported in Bashkortostan, Tatarstan, and Sverdlovsk, with smaller numbers in Moscow and Chechnya. Verified deaths disproportionately affect residents of small towns and rural areas. The Moscow Times. Ethically, Putin threatens Ukraine with loss of civilian water and food. Ethically, we threaten other countries with nuclear radiation after bombing. Financially, Putin has had trade sanctions lifted for fossil fuels for at least a month. So Putin is profiting from the US-Israeli war on Iran, conceded gas prices. Truthfully, we all now see that Dump is giving information about the Iran war to Putin, and Putin is now giving that information to Iran. Dump's own failures and bad intentions are projected onto others. Except for Putin, the Dump imagination only goes so far as his inward greed and malice projected onto others. Except for Putin, the Putin hold on Russia tells us what the US could evolve into if we do not stop the Dump breakage. Song cycle 3 tells us that Putin and Orban plan to fake an assassination, attempt in order to raise Orban popularity for some reason that was not pulled off. Let us not in the US continue on this course of fakery and collusion with present Russia and Hungary.
Orban broke his country, optimistic song cycle 3.
polling shows that Orban is set to lose an election. On April 12 in Hungary, to Peter Magyar, comparisons of Orban to Dump are not flattering. Orban won the 20,000 Hungarian election as an ultra-nationalist, hard-right, anti-Semitic populist. He has won every election since then, and he and his pals are the richest people in Hungary. Elections are still free, but almost all the country's media are owned by his allies. Relentless propaganda tells Hungarians that they are permanently besieged by foreign and domestic enemies, decadent liberals, the European Union, although Hungary remains a member presumably for the subsidies, and NATO, not to mention Ukraine. Orban infiltrates NATO in order to block funds to Ukraine needed in war against Russian aggression. That, of course, also threatens the rest of free democratic Europe. Putin and Orban plan to fake an assassination attempt in order to raise Orban popularity. For some reason that was not pulled off, let us not in the US continue on this course of fakery and collusion with present Russia and Hungary. Newsom can fix the US, optimistic songs cycle 4. Governor Newsom positions California as a national public health leader by championing science-backed policies in stark contrast to the Dump administration federal funding cuts and rollbacks of vaccine recommendations, are forcing local health departments to close clinics as measles cases surge nationwide. California and other Democratic-led states form coalitions to recommend vaccines the Dump administration has rescinded, fearing a looming public health crisis. Ukraine can fix Putin, optimistic song cycle 5. Zelensky to relay energy, truce proposal to US seeks reciprocal halt to attacks. Kremlin reacts coolly, it has no detailed truce proposal. Ukraine cites allies' concerns over oil strikes, vows to defend Donbass industrial towns. Ukraine can fix Orban, optimistic song cycle 6. A bitter dispute pitting Hungary and Slovakia against Ukraine is holding up a crucial 90 billion euro, 77.95 billion pound European Union loan to Ukraine. No oil has flowed through the Druzhba friendship pipeline from Russia to Hungary and Slovakia across Ukraine. Since the major oil hub at Brody in western Ukraine was damaged in a Russian attack on 27 January, while Ukraine argues that it will need 6 more weeks to repair the damage and restore the oil flow. Budapest accuses Kyiv of stalling as revenge for Hungary's pro-Russian and anti-Ukrainian position. Courts can fix the US, optimistic song cycle 7. A federal judge rules dump order ending national public radio. NPR and the Public Broadcasting Service, PBS funding was unconstitutional. On March 31, a federal judge ordered the Dump administration to pause construction on its White House. Ballroom absent, express authorization from Congress. On March 31, throwing the $400 million project's future into question. Dump says Justices Barrett, Gorsuch sicken me after the Supreme Court tariff ruling. Europe can fix Ukraine, optimistic song cycle 8. On October 15, 2025, Germany pledged more than $2 billion in military aid for Ukraine, as the government in Kyiv signaled that it would need $120 billion in 2026 to stave off Russia's nearly 4-year all-out war. The European Union can fix Ukraine, optimistic song cycle 9. On March 31, European Union top diplomats visited Bucha, Ukraine, to mark 2022 massacre. The European Union's top diplomat Kaja Kallas and several European Union foreign ministers voiced their support for Ukraine's demand for accountability over Russian atrocities committed in Bucha, as they visited the small town on the 4th anniversary of a massacre there. US states can fix the US. Optimistic song, cycle 10. US heat pump subsidies, states offering heat pump subsidies in March 2026. The states offering heat pump subsidies in March 2026 include New York offers $10,000 plus for income qualifying households through stacked programs. Maryland also provides $10,000 plus for income qualifying households. Offers up to $10,000 for income qualifying households. Provides up to $10,000 for income qualifying households. Colorado provides up to $10,000 for income qualifying households. These states have launched IRA-funded here in homes programs worth thousands, which are ranked by how much you can realistically get. The rates and program availability may change after this date. The UK can fix the UK, optimistic song, cycle 11. Heat pumps required in new housing. Future Home Standard, the March 2026 UK plan includes the Future Home Standard, which mandates that all new homes in England be zero carbon ready, starting from 2027. This standard will require the use of heat pumps as the default heating technology in new builds, replacing traditional fossil fuel systems. The regulations aim to transition away from gas boilers and promote the use of low-carbon heating systems, with heat pumps becoming mandatory in new housing developments. Europe can fix Europe. Optimistic song, cycle 12. Environmental cancer legislation, cutting air pollution, should form part of government strategies to reduce cancer rates. The European Code Against Cancer has recommended. The code previously focused on advice to help people to reduce the air pollution that they breathe. But for the first time since its launch in 1987, it has given clear direction to governments. Policymakers should aim to meet the World Health Organization global air quality guidelines for outdoor air pollution without delay, while also reducing indoor air pollution and supporting climate goals. The key message is that this needs action at EU, national and local level. Tobacco smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer, but across Europe, 28,000 cases a year can also be attributed to particle pollution. It is estimated that lung cancer deaths would be reduced by more than 10% by meeting WHO guidelines for air pollution. There is increasing evidence that air pollution is associated with bladder, kidney and brain cancers, and that air pollution can affect survival rates, with homewood burning increasing. The code calls on governments to discourage and phase out solid fuels for heating, cooking, recreation. It also calls for incentives for the installation of home energy systems that do not pollute, such as heat pumps, solar power and geothermal energy. A cat can remind us of our humanity. Optimistic song cycle 13. Alternators exist to fossil fuels and wood burning. Cat lives are cut short by resorting to wood burning. They have lungs like humans have. Man's beautiful icon can tell us to stop pollution when they like us keel over from the pollution. A duck can remind us of our humanity. Optimistic song cycle 14. Alternators exist to fossil fuels and wood burning. Dog lives are cut short by resorting to wood burning. They have lungs like humans have. Man's best friend can tell us to stop pollution when they like us keel over from the pollution. A community can remind us of our humanity. Optimistic song cycle 15. Alternators exist to fossil fuels and wood burning. Communities are cut short resorting to wood burning. Groups of people have groups of lungs like humans have. Statistics can tell the story about what has existed before. So present people do not have to act like guinea pigs. We no longer have anything left to prove about wood burning. It is a European Union representative says it is important to make air quality information easily available, involve communities in local plans and protect vulnerable groups. For example, around schools and care settings. Where this is not possible, indoor air filters should be installed.